Hello everyone. So I'm back with another music related video. I haven't done one of these in a little bit. And unlike my other ones where I was revisiting albums from the past, I felt really compelled to do a newer music review on this new group out of Sweden called Fans of the Dark. You can see here the album cover. This album came out actually a little less than a year ago, late 2021. And let me just give you a shot here of the back of the band there. So getting back to the album cover, you can see it's, I don't know, like Iron Maiden light. Not maybe quite as graphic, but you see this strange looking creature. And in the background is a movie theater playing Dial M for Murder and Rear Windows, obviously kind of an ode to Alfred Hitchcock. And the other song, well, it just says Hitchcock Night. So why am I doing this? Well, this is a band that I just kind of ran into recently. For whatever reason, the melodic rock websites that I frequent hadn't reviewed it. And I kind of came across it over the last few months, got the album, and it's just fantastic. I mean, for me, I'm kind of stuck in the 70s and 80s. So for me, it's Foreigner, Survivor, that sort of thing. The only groups really, since the turn of the century, that I get into that are really new are like White Widow out of Australia. Been listening to Black Swan lately, kind of a harder edge group with Jeff Pilson from Dokken and Foreigner. But these guys really caught my attention, and they're just very unique. And their second album's coming out in about a month, and they've already released a single from that new album, which is an incredible song, maybe their best yet. But getting back to this first one, it's simply called Fans of the Dark. The group name is the same as the first album title. So these guys are different in that a lot of their songs, kind of suggested by the cover there, have to do with themes of, suspense or horror, Hitchcock type things. And it's just really unique. And when I first heard it, I thought, oh, is this going to be just, they're going to be a group you can play for Halloween or something? They're definitely a lot more than that. And this album has 8 songs on it. A couple of the songs are pretty lengthy, 8 minutes plus. Top to bottom, it's a fantastic album. I mean, this harkens back to the 70s, 80s, before that time period where you'd buy an album and you wouldn't just get it because one song is good. You would expect the whole album, especially if it's a rock album, to be solid. And that sometimes the rock tracks, the deeper tracks, are better than the released singles. And this one, really, every song is pretty good, and most of them are exceptional. So, I'm not going to play any clips from them or anything like that because you really wouldn't do them justice, because some of them actually have 2 or 3 parts to them. So you really just have to listen to the whole album. They're on Spotify, YouTube, that sort of thing. So you can find them, Fans of the Dark. And I just want to go through kind of track by track. These guys write their own stuff. Their drummer pretty much writes almost all of it, it looks like. And it's kind of an interesting combination with the themes of suspense or horror. A Swedish group, basically 3 white guys, and their lead singer is African-American. His name is Alex Falk. And in some of their videos, he looks like he's dressing in drag. His voice can sound very masculine. He can make it sound more feminine. And his voice is outstanding. And the music they write, just the material itself, is super high quality, super high level, top shelf stuff. His voice is so electric and so versatile, it actually takes it to yet another level. And that's why I felt really compelled to review it. I'm listening to this album all the time, can't wait for the new one. So just go through the tracks kind of quickly, one by one. So the first one is called The Ghost of Canterville, which is actually a 8-minute plus lead-off song that has multiple layers to it, and it's based on a short story, I believe from the late 1800s, kind of a ghost story that has some humorous elements to it. And you'll notice that, throughout their music, they can be kind of serious and then sometimes not so serious, and sometimes I don't know if they're trying to be one or the other, or kind of the joke's on you kind of thing. But it's pretty unique stuff. So that first song, it's like 2 or 3 songs in one, and I'm going to say that a few times because a couple of their songs, there's 8 songs on the album, but you kind of feel like there's 12 or 13 because of the versatility and the changes within songs. So the Ghost of Canterville builds nicely, has a great chorus. They have a great chorus on all of these songs. And the first time I heard some of this stuff, I was like, how does this fit together? I mean, the singer's unique, the material, the themes are unique, and it was hard for me to kind of put it all together. Like, does this really work? And it does really work. And in the end, what you really get is some good quality, slightly harder edged melodic rock, sometimes not very hard edged, sometimes just more straight melodic rock. There's actually a song in here that's kind of a ballad in a way, or at least starts off that way. But just when you put it all together, I just think they have something going. This is a group that, they deserve a chance. I mean, they should be writing, soundtrack stuff, for a Netflix show. They should be on Saturday Night Live as a musical guest. I think they would be huge. I think people would really be drawn to them. So the Ghost of Canterville follows that short story from the late 1800s. You can tell that they have read up their stuff, and they know their literature and they know their movies. And I believe that short story was made into a couple different versions of a movie. I have not seen any of those. But again, great chorus. The song changes, partway through, and it's a great opening track. Again, over 8 minutes. The second song, one of my favorites, one of the singles they released, or released kind of on the internet at some point, is called Escape from Hell. This song to me is much more straightforward. It's got a great, up-tempo beat. And all I can say is with the chorus is just awesome. And this is a band who, honestly, like this song, I could picture on stage in a musical, like some odd version of Grease or something, at the end where they're all singing on stage, and this song just kind of begs for that. It's dramatic, but it's so catchy. Definitely one of my favorites. And I mean, theatrical in some ways, at least the chorus, I think. The third song is called The Running Man, and I'm sure some of you know that Stephen King wrote a book, The Running Man, and there was a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Richard Dawson from the 80s based on that. This song starts off with kind of a galloping beat, and this song, out of all of them, is the one that every time I hear it, it gets better. The first run through wasn't necessarily one of my favorites. Now, this could be my favorite song 6 months from now, the way it's going. It's also very unique, has a cool video that you can find on YouTube. And just another very solid track with another great chorus. The fourth song, this one to me is kind of humorous. It's called Dial Mom for Murder, not Dial M for Murder. So again, they're kind of using Hitchcock here as maybe a bass, but, in kind of a funny way. This song, it's got a good beat. It's fast-paced. It's also catchy. I guess if I had to pick my least favorite song, it might be this one, and it's still way better than average. If this is the worst song on your album, then your album is pretty darn good, because this song would be better than a lot of groups' best songs on their album. So, I'm not trying to downgrade it by saying it's my least favorite. It's still a very good song. Number 5, this is also released as a video. It's called Life Kills. Also, kind of, uplifting in a way. To me, I kind of take a message of, hope, and you gotta, get on your feet, and, life is not fair kind of thing. Very dramatic chorus, cool video, great vocals by Alex Falk. He really, again, the song by itself, I mean, anybody would sing it and it would sound great pretty much if you were a decent singer, but Alex Falk takes it to that next level again. I mean, he's very charismatic, flashy. I think he would be a big hit in the States if these guys were on TV or featured somewhere. I think he would stand out for, all the right reasons. Another great song. The sixth track, maybe my favorite right now. And this is kind of a slower song, at least the first half of it is, and then it maybe gets a little bit, not only quicker, but almost a little darker. It's called Rear Window, and it clearly, the lyrics are absolutely positively based on the movie Rear Window. And I just rewatched that movie recently, and it was kind of got more out of it in a way, just kind of knowing this song. This song, the first half of it is almost ballad-like. The verses and the chorus are just incredible, and you'll know right away when you hear it. And then it kind of changes, and then it gets a little bit darker and faster, and kind of a cool, switch at the end, which is really, makes the song unique and great. Part of me almost wanted the chorus to come back again a few more times because it's so good. So sometimes after I'm done listening to it, I got to play the first part of it again because it's just, that first part is just so good. Just fantastic writing and fantastic musicianship and vocals just, throughout. But the seventh song is called The Foreigner, which kind of got me excited because I'm a big Foreigner fan. It has nothing to do with the rock group Foreigner. Again, fast-paced, kind of a good bridge and chorus. Solid song for sure. And then the last song, which is also, this is 8 minutes, and this one's also one of my favorites. It's called Zombies in My Class. Yeah, you heard that right. Zombies in My Class. He seems to be literally talking about going to school. And, at the beginning of the song and at the end, you kind of hear, it's almost like grade school kids chatter in the background. Although some of the lyrics make me think, maybe it's more like high school, not really sure. But he's talking about going to school and there's, zombies in the class. And, this chorus sticks in your head in a good way. This can stick in your head all day. And this is another song where they go through, the beginning kind of starts slow and then they get into the verses. There's great guitar work on this song. And you get through, verse, chorus. And then the song changes. It actually kind of slows down in some ways. Then it builds back up. And then we do get the chorus again at the end, which I'm very thankful for because it might be, my second favorite chorus. Oh, I don't know. I can't even say that. There's so many good ones on this album. But it does come back, and it's so catchy. And part of me thinks, I'd love to hear an interview with these guys because, like this song, I'm not sure if they are just being literal the whole time or, part of me thought, are they talking about, bullies at school? Is there some symbolic meaning to this? Could it be both? I guess it's hard to tell. In the end, it doesn't really matter because the song is so good. All of the songs are so good. So if you haven't heard these guys and you like any kind of melodic rock type thing, take a listen. And their newest single from their second album called Suburbia comes out in September, and they've already released a single. It's called Night of the Living Dead. I'm surprised, another kind of horror theme. And oh my God, is that song catchy. It's got awesome guitars, but it's catchy as heck. That should have been an 80s song. It is so good. And it's got a cool video, kind of zombie-oriented, as you might think. You'll definitely want to check that. I can't wait for that album to come out. As far as I can tell, they haven't released like a second single yet, but if that song is any indication of how the second album is going to be, then they're not going to have any sophomore slump. I can guarantee you that. But take a listen to that one, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's definitely more kind of straight up commercial, more so than most of the songs on their first album. I don't mind that. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have other songs on there, longer songs, and, I'm sure it's going to be fine. But take a listen. I think they're worth checking out. And thanks for listening to this review. I'll catch you next time.